Another day, another attack ad from the left. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.media. Well, you knew it was coming. More attack ads from organized labor, and they're aimed at the Harper government. This latest round of attack ads comes from the Public Service Alliance of Canada, or PSAC as they're known here in Ottawa. They've told the Toronto Star, which did a very nice write-up on the ads and talked about how they're all fact-based, that, well, these aren't really attack ads. These are just educational. Really? Let's look at the main attack ad that they've put out so far and just listen to how many times they reference the Harper government, the Harper conservatives, or the conservatives as they list the sins of this government.
What's the vision of Harper's conservative government for Canada's future? Cuts, cuts, and more cuts. Harper's conservatives are ransacking our public services, threatening our country. Harper's government has cut over $113 million from the Veterans Affairs budget, closing 9 offices. Canada's border security jobs are being sliced, making all Canadians vulnerable. Our environmental protection services are being slashed, despite ever-increasing threats from climate change and pollution. Hard times are about to get even harder for Canada's unemployed, thanks to Harper's conservatives. Thousands of Canadians who paid into employment insurance are being cut off from benefits. Canada's food safety services are being butchered, putting millions of citizens in harm's way. Our public search and rescue services are being dismantled. Canadian lives are endangered. Essential public services are threatened by Harper's conservative government, without regard for the safety and welfare of millions of Canadians. The Conservatives are bleeding our public services. Vote to stop the cuts. A message from the Public Service Alliance of Canada.
That sounds like an attack ad to me. I don't know about you. The PSAC says that these are all fact-based, that they will back them up. Not really. Not unless you buy into their worldview off the top. Things like veterans' offices being closed. They weren't closed. They were integrated into Service Canada offices, which there are more of across the country. It saved money, yes, but is it a cut to actual services to veterans, or is it a way to better provide services at a lower cost to taxpayers and better service for the people that need the service? I'd say it's the latter. They just claim it's a cut and move on from there. Then there's their claims on employment insurance. They don't like the fact that the government, which runs the system, has declared that, well, in order to qualify, you have to meet certain criteria, including you have to be willing to take work up to an hour away from your home. Millions of Canadians already travel to work, and they would find it bizarre that we would pay someone to sit at home rather than say, yeah, there's a job, you take it. But PSAC is more about just ensuring that government gets bigger, and that's what rescinding these changes would do. All of the changes that they go through are differences in policy. But to them, it's about the Harper conservatives not caring about the health and safety of Canadians. The ad almost makes it sound like they wish Canadians would die. That's not just an educational campaign. This is an outright attack ad. Are we going to see it fact-checked by the other media? Likely not. The Toronto Star didn't do it so far, and they already had the ad. They were handed the campaign by the union ahead of time. And we've seen with ads from Engage Canada, which is funded by unions. We've seen with ads run by Unifor, the left gets a pass. And yet, when you add together PSAC's campaign, when you add together Engage Canada, when you add together Unifor, there is a good chance that these organizations will spend more before the election's even called than the parties will be allowed to spend themselves during the campaign period. This is a constant drip, drip, drip of people that hate the government just for existing. The Public Service Alliance says we're not telling our people how to vote, we're just educating them. And yet they've been running a Harper Hates Me campaign for years. This is about attacking the right so that a progressive somewhere gets in. And it's all done with union money, even though the unions know many of their members actually vote conservative. But they're able to do it thanks to the current labor laws and court decisions that force people to pay union dues even for political causes that go against their own personal viewpoint. It's another reason we need more change in Canada, and not just changes on how third-party advertising from conservatives works ahead of an election.